American Chopper 2, Full Throttle, released on the 28th of November, 2005, for the PlayStation 2, follows its predecessor as a game inspired by the popular Discovery Channel TV series American Chopper. The show, which became a cultural phenomenon in the early 2000s, follows the adventures of Paul THROTTLE Sr. and his son, Paul Jr., as they create custom motorcycles in their Orange County Choppers, OCC, workshop. The game attempts to capture the spirit of the show, where the main hook is designing and customizing elaborate choppers. However, while Full Throttle does improve on the original in some areas, it still falls short of being an exhilarating ride. The original American Chopper game, released in 2004, was met with mixed reviews, with many critics pointing to its lackluster gameplay and underwhelming graphics. The sequel, American Chopper 2, Full Throttle, was developed with the intent of fixing these flaws, expanding the gameplay, and offering more depth to fans of both the TV show and motorcycle enthusiasts. The developers, Crete Studios, aimed to produce a more immersive experience while maintaining a balance between being a licensed title and offering a broader appeal to gamers. The primary goal during development was to address the complaints from the original game, particularly in terms of graphics, controls, and the variety of customization options. The developers were clearly dedicated to translating the likenesses of the show's stars, Paul Sr., Paul Jr., and other key figures, into the game. However, the outcome of this effort is a rather eerie and unconvincing depiction of the characters. While the character models are more detailed this time around, the improved fidelity somehow pushes them into the uncanny valley. The facial textures and expressions are detailed, but they don't quite sit right, creating a sense of awkwardness that makes the characters look more like wax figures than human beings.
In terms of improvements over the original American Chopper game, Full Throttle does a reasonable job of addressing some of the most common criticisms. One of the most notable areas of improvement is the variety and depth of bike customization options. In the original game, customization was rather limited and basic, but Full Throttle significantly expands on this with a broader selection of parts, colors, and styles, offering players more creative freedom. Players can modify everything from the engine to the wheels, gas tank, fenders, and handlebars, allowing for a more authentic chopper building experience. Additionally, the game introduces a few new choppers to the lineup, including some fan favorites from the TV show, such as the Fire Bike and the Liberty Bike. For fans of the series, this is a nice touch, as it allows them to recreate some of the iconic motorcycles they've seen on TV. The customization process is intuitive enough, and it's one of the more satisfying aspects of the game. Another improvement is the graphics engine. While the first American Chopper game had dated visuals even for its time, Full Throttle enhances the overall graphical quality. The bike models look sharper and more polished, and the environments, though still somewhat bland, are more detailed than before. However, these improvements aren't enough to
As mentioned earlier, the bike customization is arguably the game's strongest feature. Players have a wide variety of parts to choose from when building their custom chopper, and it's clear that a lot of attention went into this aspect of the game. Each part is modeled with care, and the level of detail is commendable, especially considering the PS2's hardware limitations at the time. Whether you're looking to build a sleek and modern chopper or something more classic and rugged, the game provides enough options to keep things interesting. The process of customizing your bike is straightforward and offers enough depth to appeal to both casual players and die-hard fans of the show. The ability to choose from different paint jobs, decals, and even engine types adds to the sense of personalization. However, it's worth noting that the customization is purely aesthetic for the most part, as it doesn't significantly affect gameplay. It's more about creating a cool-looking bike than it is about fine-tuning performance, which is a missed opportunity to add more depth to the gameplay. One of the major complaints that players had about the first American Chopper game was its awkward controls, and unfortunately, this issue persists in Full Throttle. The controls feel clunky and unresponsive, making it difficult to enjoy the core gameplay loop of riding your custom chopper around town. The bikes don't handle as smoothly as you would hope, and there's a noticeable lack of precision when steering, braking, and accelerating. This is particularly frustrating during the racing segments, where precision is key to success.
Whether it wants to be a racing game, a mission-based game, or a pure customization sim. As a result, it tries to do all three, but none of them particularly well. The missions, which involve performing tasks for various characters from the TV show, are especially bland. These tasks usually consist of mundane objectives like delivering parts or racing against the clock, but they fail to capture the high-stakes drama that made the show so compelling. One of the selling points of Full Throttle was the inclusion of the show's stars, and while the game does succeed in bringing Paul Sr., Paul Jr., and other familiar faces into the game world, it's hard to ignore the uncanny valley effect that comes with their likenesses. The developers clearly put a lot of effort into making the characters resemble their real-life counterparts, but the result is more unsettling than impressive.
The face masks used for the character models are detailed, but the lack of realistic facial animations and stiff body movements make the characters feel lifeless. It's as if the game tried to take a shortcut by focusing on surface-level details without considering how those details would interact in the motion. The result is that the characters look like they belong in a wax museum rather than a video game, which is disappointing given the emphasis on authenticity. American Chopper 2. Full Throttle is a game that tries to improve upon the original in meaningful ways, particularly in terms of bike customization and graphical fidelity, but it falls short in many other areas. The awkward controls and generic gameplay prevent it from being a truly enjoyable experience, and while the customization options are a highlight, they can't carry the game on their own. For fans of the show, Full Throttle might hold some nostalgic value, especially with the inclusion of iconic choppers and the likenesses of the Tuchels. However, even die-hard fans will likely be put off by the uncanny valley effect and the underwhelming mission design. Ultimately, American Chopper 2. Full Throttle feels like a game that was rushed to capitalize on the success of the TV series, without taking the time to refine its gameplay mechanics and polish its presentation. In conclusion, while Full Throttle does improve on some aspects of its predecessor, it still doesn't deliver the high-octane thrills one would expect from a game based on the world of custom motorcycles. It's a passable but forgettable experience that, much like a chopper missing its engine, looks the part but lacks the power to truly excite.